You know, the small one
I
is.
think you're on now.
Okay, so start. But are we going to be on the main screen?
Are you on the screen now?
We're on the small screen.
You're on the big screen now?
No.
I can hear the volume.
Let's see, scroll down, overlay. That's
There.
high.
Okay. We're on live. Get it going. Technology.
We're off again.
We're off the screen. Okay. So maybe it's going to go back and forth while the music is on. That's good. Okay. I like this.
It's a good sign. In case some people don't know what the song is, it's a theme from Exodus, of course. I'll show you all this stuff.
Okay, good evening. Thank you for joining us on the Never Again live podcast. I'm Meir Weinstein, and I'm with
Zazaveli.
Good evening. As is the custom, we start off with some words from the Parsha that was read last Shabbat in the synagogue, Parshas Shemos. There's a message coming in. Yes, it is. It's all good. Thank you. Parshas Shemos. And I just want to dwell on it a little bit. There's some critical information. There's always a lesson to be learned from the Parsha. It says in the Parsha, and these are real interesting times that we're living in right now. And when we go over the Parsha, there's always a lesson in the Parsha that pertains to today. a new king arose over Egypt who did not know Joseph. Now, Joseph, he saved the economy in Egypt. He brought prosperity to Egypt. He became the second most powerful person in Egypt. And Pharaoh, he said to his people, behold, the people, the children of Israel, are more numerous and stronger than we. Come, let us outsmart it, lest it become numerous, and it may be that if a war will occur, it too may join our enemies and wage war against us and go up from the land. Where do we hear that again? Okay? Where do we hear that? Nazi Germany? Is that what the Nazis said? Is that what they said throughout Europe as they took away all the rights from Jews and sent our grandparents to the gas chambers? Worked them to death in the death camps when Hitler was rising to power? Made a deal with an international conglomerate, IG Farben, and the deal was slave labor that you don't have to pay for to produce goods. And most people turn a blind eye to everything going on because people want cheap goods. And it goes on that Moses is born in Egypt. And it says, and he went out the next day. See, just before that, Moses, he observes, it happened in those days. Moses grew up and he went out to his brethren and observed their burdens. And he saw an Egyptian man striking a Jew of his brethren. He turned this way and he saw that there was no man. So he struck down the Egyptian and hit him in the sand. He killed the Egyptian that was killing the Jew. According to commentaries, the Jews were being sent out to backbreaking labor, slave labor. And this Egyptian taskmaster, he saw the wife of a Jew. And he planned that when the Jew was working in the fields under backbreaking conditions, that he would rape his wife. And the Jew came home. And he saw what was going on. And the Egyptian decided he was going to kill the Jew. And Moses saw the Egyptian. And he smote the Egyptian. And it says, and he went out the next day, and behold, two Jews were fighting with each other. He said to the wicked one, why do you strike your fellow? He replied, who appointed you as a dignitary, a ruler, and a judge over us? Do you propose to murder me as you murdered the Egyptian? Moses was frightened, and he thought, indeed, the matter is known. According to the sages, because of all what was going on and fear of Pharaoh, that many Jews sunk to a certain level, that they started turning in their fellow Jews. There was no cohesiveness. I got into a discussion with the rabbi in my synagogue about this. I asked him, what gives? What gives? The sages say that there were informers amongst us at the time. And Moses couldn't believe that. And it really upset him to see that when you're standing for justice and you just killed an anti-Semitic Egyptian taskmaster, that you have people who are ready to turn you in for doing the right thing. So the rabbi tells me that there's more explanations on it. He said that the word got back to Pharaoh. Two things got back to Pharaoh. Listen to this. Two things got back to Pharaoh. The report that Moses killed the Egyptian got back to him. And the report that Moses observed the infighting that Jews had and informers in the community. Pharaoh apparently understood why Moses killed the Egyptian. After all, he was raping a slave's wife. And he saw Moses didn't stand for that. But what upset Pharaoh was that he needs the informers from the community. He needs those who are going to turn in their fellow Jews. And that upset him because he needs the slaves. And if you bring about a change in the community, a cohesiveness, that all of a sudden they got a pride in themselves, that's a threat to the Egyptian rule. Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Not much has changed.
Well, there's been a lot going on since last week. There's been a lot going on ever since President Donald Trump was elected as president. And on the left, on the Democratic side, the Democratic Party, unfortunately, is infested with many people who hate Israel and would like the official policy of the Democratic Party to be, and of Joe Biden, to be anti-Israel and to sell out Israel.
Of course.
There's no question. So what we have these impeachment hearings. Now, President Donald Trump, there's absolutely no question about it. When it comes to Israel, he is historically the best president ever in the state of Israel. There's no question about it.
No question.
There's a list of over 100 phenomenal actions he's done for Israel. There's no question. He's recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. He moved the embassy there into Jerusalem. He recognized the Golan Heights, part of Israel. He recognized all the settlements, Jewish towns in Judea and Samaria are 100% legal. He cut off funding from UNRWA. He shut down the PLO office. The list goes on. He adopted the IRA definition of anti-Semitism in the United States so that anti-Semitism cannot run rampant on the campuses. He's done so much for Israel. So what we have here is a couple of things to think about. With the impeachment hearings, 3 Jewish Democrats were leading the House impeachment charge. The legislation cites Trump's role in fomenting the violent siege that so-called Trump supporters, every single one, stormed the Capitol buildings, and there was no negligence on behalf of security there. No police let people in just like that. Yeah, if you believe that. Fomenting the siege against the Capitol building last week. 3 of the 4 Democrats leading the charge to impeach President Donald Trump are Jewish. David Cicilline of Rhode Island, who is the lead sponsor. Jamie Raskin of Maryland. Jerry Nadler of New York. They're 3 of the co-sponsors. That's something to think about. Then we have, you look at the Democratic Party with the Ilhan Omars and Rashida Tlaibs, and the list goes on. There is a list. And then we have the Anti-Defamation League. Calls for President Trump to be removed from office.
Unreal.
We have an article written by Rabbi Aaron Sorkin. He's very upset at Orthodox Jews who voted in large measure, I think 90%, for President Donald Trump. He's very upset. And he says in his article that at Capitol Hill, at the rally that Trump had last week, that there are photos of Orthodox Jews holding the flag of Israel, standing next to neo-Nazis waving a swastika flag. It's not true, but he wrote it. He wrote it. There's articles by the New Israel Fund. How Trump and Netanyahu made American anti-Semitism come alive. here's Rabbi Ezra Schwartz, the Rosh Yeshiva University. There is no need for yet another voice to come forward and talk about how despicable Wednesday's attempted putsch was. There is no need for someone else to speak about the unlawfulness that the current occupant of the Oval Office brought about. I hope that those with more sway in the larger American Jewish community from both sides of the aisle will speak forcefully about this. There's one more thing. One more. Sheldon Adelson, a phenomenal Jew who gave for Jewish community organizations throughout the community. Just incredible what he gave for education, for birthright, for you name it. And he is just a tremendous supporter of Israel.
Huge.
So he died yesterday. So you have statements from these so-called progressive left-wing BDS Jewish groups, if not now, Jewish Voice for Peace. The director of Jewish Voice for Peace, she says, this was an amazing birthday gift for me. Something to that effect, she wrote, of his death. If not now. They basically said, may he rot in hell.
Wow. The tolerant left.
The list goes on. And these are supposed to be the progressives that speak peace and love. So when you reflect on what occurred in the Parsha, there are serious lessons that we have to understand.
Yeah.
And we have to move forward with, and we're going to make it out of here. You know, in every generation, somebody could rise up that would try to do harm to the Jewish people. Every generation says that in the Haggadah. But we survive. State of Israel is extremely strong, helping humanity as well. No question about it. For reasons beyond me, Israel leads the world in the vaccine against the coronavirus. Canada lags behind. What sense does that make? How come the government in Canada is so far behind?
I don't get it.
And it's like months, and you have Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, and he says the whole country probably will be vaccinated by sometime in March.
Yeah.
And then his intention is open the economy up. That's the country that's going to open up first. I mean, is Canada advanced or not?
I don't know, man.
And what about in the United States? I mean, you got governors there and mayors there that are, maybe this group will go first, maybe that group will go first. They got everything. You know, Donald Trump, with all his detractors against him, he was responsible for Operation Warp Speed, and they came up with the vaccines in record time. There are estimates it would be like several years down the road in record time. But you need the cooperation of the governors and the mayors. Distribution, it's just lagging behind. There's like a comparison I already saw of New Jersey and Israel. It's almost the same size, if you compare it, almost the same population.
Yeah.
But Israel's way up here with.
You know, I just spoke to my cousins in Haifa today.
Yeah.
They're waiting for the second shot.
Second dose.
Second shot. I mean, come on. I don't think right now so far we've gotten the first responders they're getting it.
Yeah.
And then how? Like, how's the list go here? I don't know. It's scary.
I don't know. It's it makes you really
scary.
wonder. Listen, we have a phone in. You could call. The number is 647-510. 5535. Call. You have any questions, concerns? We're here for you. There's being a purge by social media, Facebook, Twitter.
That's something
they're
we'll talk
eliminating people that are considered conservative. There's obviously other platforms there that many people are migrating to, and we'll definitely check out a whole bunch of different platforms to get the message out. I always believe in the butterfly theory.
Mhm.
The butterfly theory is, you do something here, somehow it has an effect across the ocean.
Mhm.
Do I know how? I
Mhm.
don't know how, but that's the theory. And we'll get the message out no matter what, whether it's people have to use the phone old style, whether we have to open up a blog and everybody's going to share that
Pigeon,
somehow,
whatever.
use a pigeon with a note attached to it. We'll do Morse code.
Whatever.
We'll do whatever it
Anything.
takes, and the masses are going to pick it up.
Please
There's no
call in,
question about
folks.
it.
Please call in. Yeah, I'm asking this guy, this loser that's on here,
Oh, yeah.
keeps saying nonsense to call in. He's a typical, behind the laptop warrior. Trust me, buddy. If you were in front of me, you wouldn't be saying none of this stuff.
Great.
You're a loser. You're a coward.
Well,
Don't forget the bus. Anyways, please, I gotta get a bus uniform. Yeah, it's really scary what's happening. I don't think you have to be a Trump supporter to say, hey, this is scary what they're doing. They're censoring. And who are these big, these high-tech companies to say this is wrong, this is wrong? If that's the case, back in 2018, I think there was a huge rally where you had a lot of left-wing crazies, going through some government buildings and everything else. No one got censored.
Mhm.
Look at what Ilhan Omar, Louis Farrakhan, Ayatollah Khomeini, what they say. They're not getting censored. Something's wrong here. Something's not right.
there are
Scary
people
times.
being given high positions in the Biden administration for what's going to be the Biden administration. Maxine Waters,
Oof.
for
Man,
instance,
she's
in
something
charge
else.
of a major the finance committee. She'll be the chairwoman. And I have videos of her
Mhm.
embracing Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah, inciting violence.
She definitely did incite
Yep.
violence, no question. But when she's embracing Louis Farrakhan, and Louis Farrakhan is on record calling Hitler a great man,
Called Jews termites.
called Jews termites. So there you have it. Where's the outrage? You have outrage at Trump. You have outrage at the Proud Boys.
Yeah. We discussed that last week. And yeah, of course, every group's going to have some bad apples, good apples, everything else. But that's what these the left.
They say there's going to be for the inauguration
Mhm.
that they're calling it. The media is calling it that you have these insurrectionist groups
Mhm.
that are planning to storm and use explosives. And is that the 75 million who voted for Donald Trump? No. Who are they?
Are they people? You know what? I don't know. I honestly don't know. They're trying to make every single person that voted for Trump. I mean, Hillary called them deplorables. Basketball deplorables, and so on. And they keep trying to do this and stuff. I mean, at some point, they're going to have to wake up and say, okay, you know what? Maybe there's a few people in every protest, every rally that you've seen. There's going to be some crazes and stuff. Doesn't make everybody that way.
Absolutely.
Doesn't make everybody that way.
No kidding.
Oh,
And
crazy
no
times.
one's really addressing the lack of security that was at the Capitol buildings that day either. How is it that
there was almost no pushback, right? There was almost no pushback. It was like some. I saw some videos where there's some corridors just walking right through, the cops are staying there
and letting the city
them
come in? So
I'm not a conspiracy theories, but that's kind of strange.
so
that's
who's
a strange
being
thing.
held accountable for that? And
I think the police.
I mean, obviously,
chief
when you have a
resigned.
mass rally, you're going to have some people who are more fired up than others.
Yeah.
But in spite of that, if you have lack of security, and you even have cops that are saying, moving barricades and saying, come in over here, you'll have bad guys that are coming in. And you'll also have probably curious people also that say, oh, I could come in.
Mhm.
Yeah, come in. But now there's like a hunt for everyone that was in
Everyone. They're going after every
to
single
try to
one.
imprison
Yeah.
everyone. It's really weird. I'm for one rule for everyone. So, during the Black Lives Matter riots and Antifa riots burning down cities, is everyone that attended and burnt down cities being held accountable? And
that's a good question.
Yeah,
Are they
they're
as vigilant
right.
going after these people as they were for everybody else?
Right.
I
So
doubt
listen,
it.
we'll we don't know what Joe Biden's going to do day one, or exactly what his policy will be about Israel. We'll watch. We'll see what it is. We believe Israel's strong, and Israel certainly had answers for the Obama administration at the time, and legitimate answers, and that was 8 years of that. So
I don't think he can turn back the Abraham Accords and that sort of stuff.
I don't see why. Yeah,
it
should be just there, and there should be more countries coming on board, anyways, because of the threats. Well, one of the things is the benefits from it, but the other thing is the Iranian threat.
Of course, huge.
Yeah. So there's no question about it. So we'll certainly see what happens, and we hope that Joe Biden does not embrace the anti-Israel garbage from some of the people and the anti-Semitism of people who worship Louis Farrakhan. We hope he doesn't embrace that. We hope for the best. We know Israel's strong anyways, and certainly have capable people to articulate what the truth is there. There's already lies going on in the media about, for instance, the vaccine in Israel, that they're withholding it from the PA, Palestinian Authority. And really the way it works is that the Palestinian Authority or Hamas in Gaza, they have to officially request from Israel and have some cooperation if they want it from Israel, and they have not requested.
Have not.
So
actually,
that's the way it works.
That BDS, whatever human being, Guri, he's trying to do the same. He's trying to spread said, Israel's keeping their vaccines from the Arabs and all that stuff and everything else. And I think it was the same day that the PA said, we want nothing from Israel. We're going to get it from Russia and China.
Well, there you go.
Okay. So
not only that, but
what I'm saying is that's how all these lies start.
Right.
Like one person and one believes.
But whoever is a citizen in Israel, Jewish, Christian, Arab, whatever you are, Muslim, you get it exactly the same as anyone in Israel, any Jewish person in Israel.
It's a democracy.
There. And also the Arabs who are not citizens but reside in East Jerusalem, they're getting it. So if anything, these people should be praising Israel, and they're not doing that. So, but we're used to that.
Do you think we'd get the same respect if it was the other way around?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we weren't allowed to pray at the most holiest of holy places for us when somebody else was in charge back then. So that kind of tells you what this is about, folks.
So if you have any questions, concerns, please give us a call. 647-510-5535. We'll hear from you. We'll address it. There's lots going on. There's a lot to discuss. Also, let me ask everyone who's watching, if you could please share this with the various pages and groups that you're part of on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We'll certainly reach a lot more people. We'll get a lot more support because there's going to be activities happening, protests coming up after we get through this Corona thing. One moment, please.
Go ahead. You're live.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Zaza. How are you?
Very good.
Good. Sandra?
Yes. Hi, Meir.
Sandra.
How are you?
We're good. Thank you.
Happy New Year to all of you. And I wish you all the best for this year. May God bring many people to the truth to understand the root of anti-Semitism. And we always stand with you. And we know that as a Palestinian myself, we know I'm positive 100% there's many Palestinians they cannot speak up their mind, but I am positive that there's many who reject the hate, reject the violence, and praising the peace. And we know that we see that many countries in the Middle East now, they're doing lots of peace agreements with Israel. The thing that this is the main reason I'm calling, because I wanted to see what's your view on that. From my side, I see it's a good and not good at the same time, but however, it's a good thing that we see that many countries realize the existence of Israel the right for the Jewish people to live in peace in their homeland. And also, this is also to show that Israel, the one and only democratic country in the Middle East, and there is lots of countries now are turning the eyes, toward Israel to learn from them. I know that Israel suffered for so many years. The Jews there suffered for so many years of being, pushed back. The vandalism for Jewish property everywhere in Europe, in Canada, in US, everywhere. This has to stop, and we hope that we see what's going to happen to the new administrating and under Joe Biden. Hopefully, the people will keep the agreement, toward Israel to keep the ties with Israel strong.
Right.
Yes, and I just wanted to hear from you. What's your point of view on all these peace agreements that's happening currently with Israel? And God bless you. And we always stand with Israel. And I call everyone to reject the hate, to reject the violence.
Thank you.
Nothing like making peace. Even after many years, the peace always brings prosperity, brings for generation to come. There is no need for keeping the hatred and the violence, and this is the only way we can build better future, and we can always work together for lots of good things to come ahead. And this is the only thing that I wanted to share. And Happy New Year.
Thank you, Sandra.
God bless you all. And remember, it says in the Bible, I will bless who bless you, and I will curse who curse you. The covenant with Israel, it will always be there. God will never change his ways. He is in charge. He is protecting the Jewish people, and he's protecting Israel. And God bless you all.
Thank you, Sandra.
God bless. Amen.
Thanks for calling.
Thank
Bye.
you. I think we need to move that a little closer for the mic here to pick it up. All right. Well, listen, I think the peace agreements are very strong, and every day we're hearing more cooperation that's going on with Israel and these Arab countries. It's a good thing. It's a warm peace. It's a lot different than the relations that Israel has with Egypt with Jordan. It seems like it's a cold peace. That maybe with the leadership, that's one thing, but with the people, it's different. So, we're experiencing this new chapter of people really getting along and feeling good about each other, Jews and Arabs. We want to see more of that, and it's just excellent. What can I say? I believe it's going to hold. I think that's the future. I used to study a lot trends and predictions of what's going on, what should be in the Middle East. And there was a lot of books and articles that were being written a number of years ago called the Arab Oil Curse. And in essence, what that is that oil for the Arabs is not going to last forever as an empire to dominate the world.
Of course, it's good for the beginning.
Yeah. So they could do whatever they want at that point, but now they have to look for other means to sustain themselves, and so Israel is a natural ally now because of the technology and everything that Israel offers. So it definitely is a new chapter.
Absolutely,
and this also affects future U.S. foreign policy in the Middle East when they see that OPEC is not going to sway the policy anymore. It used to. Again, Saudi Arabia used to be the main country that led the boycott against Israel, and that's not the case anymore. It's totally different. It's a sea change of what's going on.
Unreal what's changed. How it's changed.
And it's in their interest to have that change.
There's even some Arab countries that haven't made official peace with Israel, but they've already taken certain steps. I think we discussed this a couple of weeks ago, where the countries that have made peace with Israel and the countries that are thinking about making peace with Israel have gone to the schools and taken all the hatred books and all the stuff that they're teaching out.
Yes.
Meanwhile, in Jordan, that still exists. I think in Egypt, I think that still exists. You have a lot of imams, a lot of everybody else.
Yes.
In Gaza and the West Bank, it still exists.
That's right. That seems to be like the norm. And for Islamic organizations, and many of them in North America that still say the same kind of thing that we would consider to be anti-Semitic. And yet, at the same time, you have Islamic leaders in those countries, and the countries making peace with Israel, that they're adopting and they're recognizing the higher definition of anti-Semitism. They're calling it out.
They're calling it out.
They're calling it out, and that's that's part of the change that's going on.
I was watching a video. Not only are they calling it out, they're calling it out in a big way.
Yeah,
they're talking specifics.
Right.
Like we know specifics, but a lot of these Arab countries know specifics too when it comes to, what the what other Arab countries are doing or what Gaza is doing, anything else. There was one guy that was mentioning, the UNRWA, the United Nations, for whatever. They're saying that how can you fund these people? How what Trump did was amazing with that organization. So forget about it.
And they're saying, look at the education that they're teaching in UNRWA that's perpetuating hate.
If you teach a 5-year-old kid, to hate this this water bottle,
right?
20 years from now, he's going to want to kill that water bottle. So, I mean, come on, people are starting to see it. Thank God that, intelligent Arab countries are starting to see what's going on, and they're calling it out. Absolutely. Thank God. It's about time. Yeah.
Listen, if you have any, we don't have the big sign here, but if you have any questions, concerns, again, the number is 647-510-5535. Please call. We'd love to hear from you. It's an interactive show. There's lots going on. I'm sure you're feeling a lot of
anxious
angst with it. Yeah, certainly people are feeling anxious about what's going on
talking about that
right now. But, I would say calm down. We've been through this.
Yeah, it's hard though. This is happening. The COVID's happening, everything at the same time. It's difficult.
That's another dimension about everything too. That you have the COVID, and the COVID makes people, I think, more weird at these protests that are going on. I don't think that. We haven't seen this level of violence. Everything that has gone on, the Capitol Hill violence. We haven't seen the same kind of Antifa type of violence. This is all part of because of COVID-19.
Go ahead. You're live.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Ilya. I have a question. Hello, guys, do you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
I try to log in at Facebook, and it looks like that your account is blocked. So just wondering, maybe it's only my experience or somebody experiences as well.
Well.
And are you guys regarded by Zuckerberg extremists or something like that? So, and another question in this regard, guys. Maybe it came time just to change the platform. So I know that a lot of guys switch to Telegram, some other platforms that don't block out conservative accounts. Maybe just it's worth to think about it now.
Well, listen, a couple of questions you asked. Okay, so with my personal Facebook page, Facebook, they put it on hold right now, and they want to have some personal information, driver's license, and you name it. There's a list of what they want, and I'm not so sure if I want to provide that kind of information. I think that's private, so that's one thing. That might be the tactic they have to go after more people who are on the conservative side, or think in that direction anyways. And with regards to other platforms, well, listen, we are